Okay guys, here is the overhead Google map of the search area we want to do for our first outing. And I've thought of a really good road which actually connects Highway 11 to Highway 63. And it's called the Sand Dam Road. And it runs right here. You can see it runs all the way through. It's very barren. There are a few camps down here at the westernmost side, right off the Tomaco, which is an old rail station. So these lakes here have a few cottages on them and whatnot, but pretty much the majority of this road is just empty, old logging road, and there are lots of trails and four-wheeler trails and logging roads that come off of that. The other reason to choose that road is my dad lives out here in Redbridge on this road here, which is the North River Road. And at the end of North River Road, it all turns into four-wheeler trails that go all the way through, and they do connect back to this Sand Dam Road. It takes about an hour and a half to get through there on the four-wheeler, but if we were to find any evidence in today's travels, we would have another way to get back to that road and all kinds of trails and things we could look and travel in through there. So I thought this would be a great starting point. Now, where I want to set up the drone today is we're going to drive through this road looking for anything, videoing, taking pictures, whatever we need to check out. But the main goal today is to get to this point right here where the swamp crosses under the road and set up the drone and go from here. Park the car here and shoot the drone north as far as we can and go up this waterway right here. Just checking, any open spots that we can. You can't see a lot through the forest, so we have to find open spots. And here there's all this waterway going up to the northwest. We can go west down this chute. We can go southeast down this chute. And we can check out this clear cut in here if we want. So we'll just do a bunch of flying around and see if we can catch anything. We'll also check the roads for tracks and whatnot. And any wet areas, if there's muddy spots that we can get the drone down low and look for tracks off the beaten path, we'll do that as well. There is another reason that I've chosen this road. I actually managed to find a BFR report 11797, which states that these guys found tracks on one of those roads shooting off of the Sand Dam Road. So they give it a name. I'm not going to read this report. It's long-winded. The gist of it is that they found tracks that looked human. They weren't really long, 10.5 inches. 5 toes, but they were wider than any person's normal track. And if you guys remember, Brian talked about finding tracks up in the bush at Rabbit Lake, and he said the same thing. They were only 9 or 10 inches long, but they were 5 or 6 inches wide, so abnormally wide. And these guys found a set of tracks. You can look this case up. I gave you the number and read it if you like. They talk about a couple other things on there about bent trees and broken trees. Well, this road, all the time driving along here, as I mentioned, I go for bear and moose photography. It's full of moose. They talk about branches being snapped off 8 feet up. This road is covered in sign. I can probably find some moose breaks for you guys today. I'm not saying that's what they found because that report is from 2005. I can't be sure, but that's probably more than likely what they found. The moose like to rattle their antlers around in that brush, and they break off stuff right along the trails. And I'll show you guys some of that if we can find it. But they mention a road in here called Notman Road. Well, I can't find an actual name shooting off of here. They said they're between 10 and 15 kilometers. And if you come in, and I used the little kilometer marker down here earlier to size out where they were, I think it's this trail going north here. Now where they were off that trail, I don't know. But there's no name for the roads unless somebody's actually put up a sign maybe, but there's no actual road named Notman Road coming off of here. And that would be about the 12 kilometer mark right here to that road there. So we'll check that out. We'll keep our eye open for any signs that say Notman Road. And if we find it and we can drive down it, we'll drive down it and take a look. Okay, so today I opted to do the afternoon/evening drive. So we're going to leave here about 2 o'clock p.m. and it's probably going to be, a 5 or 6 hour ordeal to drive in there and do some droning and check some trails and all that. We could have went early this morning, but I'm going to do it afternoon for this first hunt. simply because that just worked better for me. No particular reason. We're not camping out or anything. We're just kind of scouting around this trip. Okay, just for gear, we have a tripod. We have the GoPro, which has its own little mini tripod. We've got the drone and all the extra batteries and stuff there. Okay, and traveling up front within easy access, we're going to have 3 cameras. We've got the wide angle camera here set up so we don't have to change any lenses. Then we've got the telephoto lens here. That's a 600 millimeter, but it's mounted on an APS-C camera. So it'll actually give us 900 millimeters of zoom with that camera. Then we've got the 30 times 4K camcorder. Okay, so those are all sitting on the seat beside me. I do all my driving around photography the same way. The caps are off, all of the cameras, they're ready to go. And we'll actually power these on and they'll go back into sleep mode. And then as soon as you press the shutter, they come on in, you know, like 200 milliseconds or whatever. It's much faster to have them on sitting here ready to go. So these are all little tips and tricks and things that I do when I'm out in nature photography doing birds and moose and all that. We're going to do the same thing with this because you never know what's going to run across the road. And speaking of that, we're going to actually mount the GoPro up there facing out to the front of the vehicle, and we'll be recording that as we're driving along the old Sand Dam Road as well. Super important to have spare batteries, so we got 2 batteries for each camera. I've actually got another point and shoot camera with a 1-inch sensor on it there if we need it for any particular reason, I don't know. And we've got the sound recorder. So if we need to record any sound, we have that as well. Okay, so I just want to talk methodology. What I want to do is, the first thing before we set foot in the bush anywhere is to get the drone out. And what we're going to do is put the drone up as high as it'll go. Meters, I forget what the top level is, but as high as it'll go. And then we're just going to do some pans way above the swamp. So if anything is out there crossing and it can't hear us, we're going to see it. That's before we set foot in the bush anywhere or before we do any low-level drone flying. I just want to get as high and as far away as we can, see as much as we can, as quietly as we can to start each hunt. And we're going to do these things the same way each time. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys also what I carry in my pack, even for little day trips like this where I'm not going too far from the car. We might go a mile in and out, but that will probably be on a trail today. I still bring the essentials in my pack every time I go, and I'll show you guys what I bring. So all of this stuff is what I would consider essential stuff, guys. GPS, and I have extra batteries in that bag. You never go without, 2 or 3 sets of batteries. I carry the walkie-talkie with me, even though no one else is with me. If you were to get lost, you could still cycle through channels. A good, very light thing, easy to have with you. Compass to back up your GPS. Sometimes I bring maps with me. Most of the time now I have maps right on my phone. Today we don't have a map, so a map is a good suggestion as well. A light, that light right there will last over 6 hours. Very bright, powerful. Rope, you never know when you're going to need it. A knife pack with some saws and stuff in there. You never know when you're going to need that. I always bring this, even though you probably don't need it, but fire starter as well. It makes great fire starter if you needed it in a pinch. An extra knife that I put on my belt, and binoculars. We'll put those in the front of the car today. And then just your regular safety, whistle. You can yell, but it's easier to blow a whistle. And snacks and drinks. I've eaten a full lunch. I know I can go 3 or 4 days without food if I need to, so that's not my main thing today. We're not going too far, but always have something to eat with you that'll give you some energy if you need it. And that's the basics that I carry with me all the time. I don't go anywhere, hunting, fishing, whatever, without that stuff. And the last thing I always do is I let somebody know. I just texted my wife exactly where I'm going, told her the road, and I'm going by myself. Nobody else would know where I'm going and what time I'm roughly going to be home, 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight. So I know it sounds like overkill, guys, but you don't mess around when you're going in the bush, stuff like that. Hey, if you go missing and it takes people 4 days to find where you were or more, it was very simple to just say, here's where I'm going, So that's something else you always want to do. Okay, here's the problem with these online reports. We just turned off the highway. We were at 35 kilometers. We turned off the highway at 32 kilometers. So we drove from my house to here, 32 kilometers. We're 3 kilometers down this road, and guess which road I just found? It's not the 10 to 15 kilometers down the Sandam Road that it says in that report. So you cannot trust some of these reports, some of the people reporting them. I'm going to show you guys the sign right here. I'm not setting out to disprove. I thought this was a cool way to pick a spot, was to find an actual sighting report. But if you can't adequately mark your distances, you don't know what a moose break is in trees, I question what the footprints you saw on the ground. They said they were half prints. Sounds like bear prints to me. I don't know. I'm just going to show you guys. Here's the sign. Notman Road right there. And we just literally 30 seconds ago turned where I showed you guys that goes to the North Bay dump. So 35.1 kilometers from my house, 2 kilometers down this road, including all the paved section which we left. So not the 10 or 12 kilometers down the Sandam Road that it says in the report. I'm not even going to go down that one because we haven't even reached the road where all the camps are and everything yet. So moving on. I'm going to try to be as accurate as I can in everything we do and everything we find in these videos. And if I find a discrepancy between an eyewitness report like we just did there, I'm going to point it out. Hey, this is all about reality, is what it is for me. How far were you? What did you see? What evidence did you gather? So keep in mind what I told you guys earlier. I travel this road in the spring specifically to get photographs of bear and moose. So I'm not saying that those are the tracks that they found, but there's a real possibility that that's what it was. So I just wanted to show you guys all the way down this road there are kilometer markers, and it's 32 kilometers, so we come back out on the other side on Highway 63. I'm seeing a couple breaks right here on the side of the road. Sticks broke off. So, right here's one. But that's pretty small for moose, but these are right on the side of the road. And this could be, you know, they might plow this road to a certain point in the winter. I'm not 100% positive. This one's a little bigger, but these are pretty clean breaks. The moose breaks you'll see have a twist to them. That looks like it's been broken, probably by machinery, a plow or something going by. So we're just going to disregard those and move on. And right across the road, you'll see all kinds of breaks here. Well, this is easily explainable too. There's a power line right here that runs through, and the guys bring machinery and they clear the side of the, it's a machine that actually twists the branches right off. So you'll see that as well. So all of these get broken off. That's human machinery right there. So we disregard anything like that. I'm pretty much going to disregard everything right on the side of the main road. There's probably, you know, an easy explanation for all of that. I just wanted to point out to you guys, this is the stuff that happens on these main roads. Where you would be more interested is if you saw that down a four-wheeler trail where they're not running machinery, where there is no power lines, where people aren't going. That's what we're interested in. The other thing to mention is have your cameras set up beforehand. I make sure I run my cameras in manual mode so that I can quickly change shutter speed or aperture. And when I turn them on, I adjust for whatever conditions it is outside, and then they're sitting here ready to go. So I don't pick it up and then, oh, everything's a white screen because, you know, the shutter speed is at 1/6 of a second or something like that. I know it's a lot of stuff to think about, guys, but this is the kind of things, if you want to be successful doing this, that we have to think about all those little things. And for me and my photography, those are all things I do just for regular, normal animals, so we most definitely have to do it here in search of a cryptid. I also recommend buying an electric car to hunt your squatch in so you can sneak up on them and they won't hear you coming.
I can't believe I actually said that with a straight face, but hey, it is an advantage. I'm just sneaking along here, gonna do the next 25 kilometers in electric. I don't have a motor running. Maybe that's another thing we have in our favor. So maybe what I'll do, guys, we're at the first little swamp that we can look out across here on the road. I'll just take a photograph of each swamp. Can't hurt. And we'll throw that in the video, and you guys can analyze and look at them as we go. I'll just take them and throw them in, and it can't hurt to have a little picture thrown in here and there. You never know what we might see when we get home. What I'm going to do with the photos, guys, we'll put them at the end of the video. We'll just do a slideshow. It'll be a 4K video, so you'll have full resolution, and you can just pause on any of the photos you want and view them as long as you want. If you guys look behind me on the road right there, you can clearly see my tracks. We might be the only ones to travel down this road in the last few days, so that's a good thing. So I've just pulled over on the side of the road here because we've got a bit of a sandy area, and it goes right down the back side. We can check areas like this for tracks. Not as good as a mud trap, but these will still trap a lot of tracks. So I can already see what I think are some deer tracks and whatnot in there. And then on this side of the road over here, same thing. I'm going to check that for tracks as well too. So those tracks that we're talking about come right down here. I don't know if you can see them, but yeah, definitely deer. There's a deer print right there. So they're fairly fresh, turned over, a little bit darker than the rest of the stuff here, and you can see came right up through here. So there's the car, and I just wanted to show you guys the extent of this whole back hillside. I'm going to check all of this, and then there's a little road there. I'm not sure how far down that way the road goes. I'm going to walk it a little bit just to see what kind of tracks are there. You guys can see right in front of me four-wheeler tracks. So this portion of the road, we're still only 5 kilometers down the road here, is, like I said, it's got more camps and things on it, and it's used by humans more often. Okay, so I just walked a quarter mile down this dirt road. Here's where I came in 15 minutes ago. You can see my tracks as plain as day. There's not a lot of track activity right here, so. But this would be what we're looking for, you know, human-sized something or other coming down here that we could just take a closer look at, and I didn't see anything anywhere. The only thing I found of interest was this bone, which is a deer hoof. And that's probably thrown here from hunters when they clean their deer. Everything else would have been scattered probably by coyotes and wolves. 7 kilometers in, and I don't know if you guys can see that sign right there, but it says Weyerhaeuser Road, which was one of the paper companies, the lumber companies. They supplied trees to Tembec, which is up in Temiskaming, not too far from where this road comes out on Highway 63. Okay, just wanted to show you that sign right there. We were just talking about Temiskaming. 36 kilometers. So straight out this road onto Highway 63. 25 kilometer road marker. So down these roads here on each side of me, I believe are wood lots. They've got a sign right here, you know, the standard don't remove any wood or you will be prosecuted. That's what that sign is. So I believe those are wood lots. Take a look, why not? Yeah, so this was definitely a forested area. I can see over to my right, they've left a few big pines, and everything else has been taken out a few years back anyway. Okay, so we're coming to the spot right here where it opens up into swamp on each side, where I want to put up the drone. We're going to take some pictures of this swamp as well, both sides of the road. Okay, I'm just looking at the amount of stuff and information I'm presenting to you guys, and we have a ton of stuff. So what I think I'm going to do, I've made the executive decision, is to break this hunt into 2 parts. And we'll put the second half of Sandam Road in a second video. Who knows what we're going to see, and I want to take a walk down one of these 4-wheeler trails. So there's a lot more stuff to come, a lot more than I can jam into a 15 or 20 minute video. And nobody watches 30-minute videos, so we're going to do this in 2 parts. So thanks for watching part 1. Stay tuned for part 2.